I don't think, Greg, that the wild dog are going to focus on trying to... Oh, these waterbuck have seen them. But the wild dog are not likely to take down waterbuck, at least not in this area of Africa. I haven't seen them hunting big prey in the Sabi Sands. The biggest prey that I've seen them take down, I think, would probably be a nyala. But in certain parts of Africa, they can hunt larger prey up to the size of kind of wildebeest. And it's also important to remember that you get massive packs of wild dogs, sometimes into their 30s. And a pack of that size will be more inclined to specialize in hunting larger prey, to feed more mouths. Wasn't it fascinating?
Bit of prey showing on the termite mound.
Okay. Liam's just spotted a bird of prey eating something on the termite mound. I thought that I could hear the... Oh, it's still there. It's a little gap. Let me try it. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the gap though, Liam. But well spotted. There we go. Sure, difficult to tell what it is from here, but there is a chance that it's a steppe eagle. I'm thinking it's a steppe eagle, and that comes from the Russian steppe mountains. And the reason why a lot of birds migrate to this area is for the very reason that that bird is here and sitting on that termite mound. It could be eating the reproductive termites that are exiting. There we go. Jackpot. Hello. That was lucky. Glad VM spotted the eagle there, because that stopped us at the exact spot where we needed to be. Oh, more running. Are they still looking for another meal? Let's go and find out. This has been a great example of just how quickly and how effectively these animals move. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Now, zebra will chase wild dog. Now, that wild dog's noticed, this adult has noticed that there's some folds here. Probably going to stop the car rather than moving so VM can film more effectively, but watch closely. Watch very closely. And wild dog, as well as jackal, have their tails stripped off. Listen to the zebra's call. I love it. It's one of my favorites, and all the pups are behind them. But like I said, you got to be careful. Zebra will strip the tail right off a wild dog or a jackal. And this is awesome. Look at this interaction. I don't know. That's looks like a prig. Oh no, I think that's a stallion at the back there, or is it a pregnant female? No, I think that is a stallion at the back. The one in front is a pregnant female, but I think the stallion is hanging back to make sure that his ladies are safe. Look at this. And certainly the foal will be slightly vulnerable, but like I said, zebra don't tolerate rubbish from wild dog and or cheetah sometimes, and will chase them and bite them and kick them. Let's keep going and get a bit closer to the action. How awesome is this? You thought you were going to be watching wild dog being escorted down the road by a zebra with us in hot pursuits. I certainly didn't when I headed out this afternoon. This one's carrying a giant land snail in its mouth. And it's squealing with excitement. It's so proud of itself. Look what I've got, leave the zebra, I've got a giant land snail. Let's see what happens. Oh, he doesn't. It's the duiker or the steenbok's head. Forgive me and my excitement, but it is the head. It's the trophy that I spoke about earlier. Whoever had the largest chunk of that animal was going to display it like a trophy, and that's the lucky individual. In my defense, it did look like a snail at the speed we were traveling at. I still couldn't tell whether it was a steenbok or a duiker. Anyway, a small antelope was consumed. Hello, Miss Lynn in North Carolina. And no, it's not just the pups that will make this high-pitched noise, but also the adults. And this is the individual with that skull. And that high-pitched twittering is a common ritualistic kind of greeting that adults as well as pups will perform on a daily basis. Yeah, I've been looking through my binoculars to try and work out what exactly the skull is and what animal it belongs to, but very, very tricky to tell at this stage of the game. But either a steenbok or a duiker. Not all antelope will actually make a noise when they are being killed, so that's something for the notebooks. Impala are typically silent. Kudu and Nyala also bushbuck. Most of them are actually silent. Duiker, I know for certain, squeal, and steenbok to a degree. Okay. Off it goes. Hello to Ellen in Arkansas, and you've noticed that they typically go after smaller prey, and you're surprised that they don't try and take down bigger prey. I hear you for sure, Ellen, but it's just easier and less dangerous to take down smaller prey. So I think that's why they do it. They're not big animals either, Ellen. They're small and quite dainty. I mean, they're certainly not powerful beasts, and therefore taking down smaller prey is a little bit easier for them. Very, very spindly legs.
Is coming? Yeah, that's it. He wasn't color.
Charlotte, I'm not too sure why wild dogs' coats vary so much throughout various parts of Africa. Charlotte was lucky enough to work with wild dogs in the Tuli block in Botswana, just north of us, not too far away. And she said the pack over there, or the packs over there, were very white in color, and these appear to have more yellow. The time I've spent up in the Aberdare Mountains in Kenya, there was a pack there that was very black in color. So not too sure why their colors will vary. I guess just genetic lineage over time will lean to one kind of color gene being more dominant than another, but not for any given reason, I don't think, other than default. Good question though, Charlotte, and thank you for letting us know that you have noticed a very noticeable difference in coat coloration between the animals here and the ones you worked with in the Tuli block. But yeah, I mean, there is one pup that does have a lot of white coloration within this pack, so it is possible to get some white ones. We'll try and have a look out for it now, but I noticed it the other day when they weren't moving around as frantically as they are now. And it's clearly visible that it was whiter than the rest of them. It's interesting how they run around like this. Oh, that's the one still with the head. It's trying to run, lie down, carry on snacking, and then catch up again with the pack as they move along. So it's kind of like leapfrogging away here. They're still very focused as they're running around, and rightfully so. You'll notice that they're keeping their noses to the ground, still very alert, and if they run into any danger like lion or leopard at this speed, things could get into trouble very quickly. This one here, I think, could be the white one. It's got a lot of white on its rear end and on its side. This is absolutely awesome. What a great way to be spending a Saturday afternoon, I think it is. And we must all remember, especially the new viewers, that this is a great privilege, and it may be quite some time before we get a wild dog sighting of this caliber again. And Nikki's just mentioned to me that there's only 11 minutes left, and she didn't even realize, and that goes to show that time is flying by as we enjoy this magical sighting. Sadly, I think that this may be the end, though. It won't be an ending point for the first time for some of you. Some of you may remember watching Mvula, a big male leopard, disappear down this road, and actually I was teamed up with VM that day on camera as well. And if there's any road that an animal can disappear down, this is quite a good one, because the angles and the scene work quite well. But sadly, they've mainly veered off the road for now. But continuing east into Torchwood, our neighboring property, where we will not be able to follow them. Oh, here's the one that's got left behind trying to chew on the skull. And it probably is going to start feeling lonely very soon and pick up what we would call in South Africa padkos, meaning road food in Afrikaans, and continue on. Or is it too focused on trying to crack through? Oh, I think now it's realized that it's been left behind. No, not quite. There's no sign of the other individuals now. I think they are long gone. I'm just going to quickly mention on the radio to all the other guys where they have gone, just so that that's out the way. Stations, the pack headed east along Pipeline Road, Cheetah Cut Line. Off he goes, or she goes. Didn't get a sex on it. Looks like it could be a boy. At least this one's running down the road for us. Now you get the idea. The perfect scene to see an animal disappear down, and it went the wrong way. but I'm sure it will manage to relocate the rest of its pack. Well, I hope it does, but it did go the wrong way. The rest of the pack all went to the left of that road. Good. Well, we're going to start moseying back towards camp. That was so much fun, and Jamie's got another little treat lined up for you.
And what a sweet little treat June is. That's the only hyena that we've seen at the den. Andrew and I have been sitting here for a little while, just to see if maybe there's a chance that one of the adults might come out to play and bring the cubs along with it, but it is so quiet here. And given how that breaks the pattern that we've been observing over the last few days that we've spent time at this hyena den, it really makes me think whether there wasn't some kind of conflict with the wild dogs earlier. Not even necessarily that. Perhaps they caught... There we go. Can hear them calling, and so did June. They should be coming soon. You can hear them calling off towards Gallagher Pan. can hear them contact calling from Galago Pan itself. Faint ooh sounds, so not their loudest contact call. They're still calling between them. It seems as though, from the explanation I've got, is that Tuxing was actually at the hyena den apparently, and then they ran off probably in response to the presence of the wild dogs. They probably either saw them or heard them, and that's why they're calling now. Obviously seen off the intruders, or what they consider to be the intruders, and I think probably this close to their den site they were definitely feeling a little bit nervous. I have never seen a wild dog deliberately go into a hyena den and target a cub, and I think that the females, it would be a very risky decision for them, especially for the investing pack being the size that it is, and with their pups as well. They would probably err on the side of caution. But for example, a Sands pack with that huge, I mean, that's a much, much bigger pack in terms of numbers. There's always that possibility. I don't know whether it's ever happened. I'm not sure. We do know that predators in their interactions will deliberately target the offspring of another predator. It's a way of reducing competition. Only June has been brave enough to come out. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. In theory, I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I couldn't find the immobilizer. Hold on one moment. Let's try that again with feeling. Okay. I guess not. Nope. In that case, we won't be moving backwards. We will be showing you the view of June. From where we are at the moment. I think Nikki's right. I think it is artistic with all of the branches in front. It's lovely. It's a beautiful view. What do you think, June? What do you think of our shenanigans? You just want some company. And maybe a playmate. Oh, angry elephant. That is wonderful news. We've spoken about the way that WildEarth, in various different forms, in various different ways, has touched people's lives. And Angie, who is one of our regular viewers and does some really, truly amazing work where she is in Ohio, Angie apparently is coming across to South Africa to do some work to help kids. Angie's a nurse, so she'll be coming to do a summer program. Angie, we really, really look forward to that. Hopefully you'll be able to find some time in between doing your humanitarian work to actually come and visit the WildEarth crew. I know that we would all be extremely excited to meet you. We've all been in communication with you in one way or another, and the lovely kids. So that would be really, really special, Angie. That's fantastic news. Just one of the various ways that WildEarth has changed things, and we can all speak for it. I can certainly say it's changed my life. Andrew, I'm sure it's changed yours.
Definitely.
Absolutely. There's not many people who can say that they have the best job in the world, but I think that we come pretty close. And on afternoons like this afternoon, that crazy wild dog chase with Scott, that incredible behavior you got to witness. And then what better way to spend it than with the last few moments, than with one of my favorite, I think my favorite predator, the spotted hyena. This little fluffy creature is named, well, we have started to call her June. She was born last year, June. And a bit earlier on, she decided that she was very curious about the car. I actually think that she was looking for some excitement and company. And she decided to come and investigate Andrew from the back and have a good look up at the spare wheel, as hyena cubs often do. Now looking decidedly bored and probably like she's just going to go to sleep, because there's nobody here to keep her entertained. The younger cubs are not brave enough to come out without the presence of the adults, and so they've stayed hidden. And June just has to wait until the adults return to the den, which I'm sure they're going to do. On my way home, when I do decide to leave this den, I'll make my way back along Galago shortcut and I can have a look at the Galago pan. It has been a really wonderful afternoon. And as always, I have enjoyed the privilege and the privilege to have had you on the back of our vehicle, sending through questions and hearing those amazing stories of the way that WildEarth has actually acted to change people's lives. It makes what we do, it brings an extra dimension that is so incredible, I can't even begin to put it into words. So a big thank you to all of you. A big thank you to Andrew for his wonderful camera work in managing to capture all those birds that we stopped at, including the cisticola, which might be a new one for some of you on your bird lists. And a big thank you as well to Scott for managing to keep up with those wild dogs and making the afternoon so exciting along with Fiam. Thank you, ladies in FC, and thank you to viewers around the world. We'll catch you tomorrow for the sunrise safari, and maybe you'll be lucky enough to hear Brent's thrilling tale. Cheers for now.
So, terrible news about Jamie's vehicle, but I think hopefully that's going to be that same immobilizer problem, and as soon as she switches off her broadcast stream, that she'll be able to get her immobilizer working, just like it cut out our vehicle earlier. And what great fun it's been. I've thoroughly loved being out with you guys, and thanks so much for all of the positive feedback. A lot of you have really enjoyed this afternoon's drive, as have we. Some so much that you've forgotten about whatever ailments or sicknesses you may be fighting at the moment, and that's the most awesome compliment, that you've forgotten about all the hardships that you may be facing at the moment. Tomorrow it'll be Brent and Jamie out. I'm sure they're going to have an action-packed morning lined up for you, VM. Thanks for your work on camera. And well done to Nikki and Kirsty in the final control room, who've been going through all of the questions, deciding who to chop and change between. And, of course, one final big thanks to all of you for all of your help and contributions. We'll see you next time.